And welcome to bidnest.pro for contractors. This video is going to be a bit longer than the homeowners demo that I've made just due to the vast ecosystem that we have within the contractor section of this. Bidnest was originally built for contractors for bidding, sending bids, actually doing the bids at the property when you're looking at the property and taking out down the square footage and whatnot. And the homeowner section just kind of came a little bit later on, but the contractor side is very vast and very helpful for contractors. So whenever you first get onto the bidnest.pro, you're going to see this section for homeowners. It's where they can actually find your profile on here. So if you were to look, I'm just going to show this really quickly because this is for the homeowners, but I'll show you how it actually works. Then they're going to see all the contractors, and they'll see their profiles and whatnot right here. And then they can message you from there as well. But let's get into what it actually does for the contractors here. You can read over all this stuff. You can find out how to download our progressive web app right here. It's a pretty simple instructions. If you don't know how to download a progressive web app, it works just like an app that you would get on like the App Store or whatnot, except it takes up a lot less memory and it updates in real time. If we ever do updates to our system, then it will update it without having to reload anything or to update an app like you would have to on a native mobile app. It's just far better in my opinion. But as you can see, the pricing for contractors is $29.99 a month. It's far cheaper than anything else that has all of this in it, all the power of other platforms like Jobber and whatnot, and also platforms like Thumbtack rather, for example. But anyways, if you ever need to contact us, you can contact us here or the live chat here. Live chat is a little bit more limited because of the working hours. We're not on there 24/7. It's usually 9 to 5 Central Standard Time that someone's going to be manning that. But the contact us, one of our support team would get an email, and we'll be able to email you back within 24 hours. The features, this is for our solutions rather, is for the contractors. This shows everything that it offers for contractors. Almost everything. It actually offers a little bit more than this, but this shows like the main things that Bidnest does offer. Start your free trial there. You would just sign up, register here. But we've already registered that. We're just going to do it in our staging platform. So we're going to sign in, log into the contractor section, and I've got a test one here at test.com. That's just got a lot of dummy information on here. So when you first log in, you're going to get into your dashboard, which has your calendar here. It has anything if you're on a job or have completed a job in the past. It's going to have it blocked off. So you can just estimate when you start a date and when your estimated finish date is here, and you can change that if you need to in order to block off that time. In the website that the homeowner sees, it will actually have those dates blocked off for the initial contact date, or the when you want your project started, so to speak, date. It will be blocked off, so they can't pick that date if you're already on a job currently. The next thing is going to be your actual CRM. You can see I've got a lot of fake information in here. We're going to ignore all this because I'm going to make a new one when I start a bid just for this demo. So let's ignore that right now. And then I'll just show you the accounting for now. So the accounting tab is really for your tax purposes. You're going to be able to put in any information that you need to for your CPA or however you do your taxes at the end of the year. You can keep a log of all the things that you spent. So let's say today I went to bid a job, and I put, went to bid Jones job, and I put, well, gas is pretty expensive right now, so let's say we put $120 in the tank, because we filled up our diesel or whatever, and it's our, let's say that's the freight job. I don't have a Jones job in there. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, freight job, and then it's going to show freight job. We went and got gas, $120. It's going to show all that here, and then we can download that summary for our tax purposes for the end of the year. All right. Okay, now that we've got it, sorry about that pause. I had to open, I have this in full screen, so it kind of messed me up with that top bar. I had to get rid of that. Okay, the next thing after the dashboard, so we went through accounting. Oh, the lead section. So anytime that you have someone actually message you on your profile, I'll show you how to make a profile here in a second. It's just a one-page landing page. You can actually give that your link to homeowners if you want them to just go ahead and fill out all their information. Maybe you're on the road or something, and you don't have time to write all their information down. You can just simply give them or text them your link, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But within your actual website that you'll be making, that one-page website that has the contact form, whenever someone does reach out to you, you'll have a notification on this little notification bell. Right now you don't have any leads in there, but it'll come up as a lead, and you'll have the number of leads. It's different from the message board, and I'll show that to you here in a second as well, but it will be inside your leads section. So the profile leads, these are totally free. They're just people that have contacted you directly. It doesn't cost you anything, so that's why I say use it as however you want. If you're like I said, if you're driving down a road and this person's trying, they contacted you and trying to give you all their information and whatnot, and you can't pull over and write it down, just give them your link, which will be bidnest.pro / whatever subdomain that you made. Maybe you have Tim's Painting, then you can make it bidnest.pro / Tim's Painting. And then they would go on there and they would fill out their contact information. They can view your gallery of your jobs. They can view your about section. They can leave you a review on there. You can reply to reviews. Maybe someone left you a false review or something. You can reply to that. If it's really a false review, you can hit us up in the live chat or just the contact form and at the landing page. Let us know that someone's left you a false review, and then we'll review it and we can take it down from there if it is truly a false review, because that does happen, as anyone knows that has Google. But from here you can also go to the marketplace. There's some fake ones in here that I made, but you can purchase these. These are just ones that homeowners just posted generically in the homeowner section. They're only $15. It's a lot cheaper than most leads portals, and it also shows you how many contractors have already contacted them. So it's best to just hop on there as soon as one comes in and there's 0 contractors. Go ahead and snag that up and be the first one if you can. And you might underbid them, or you might have a better product or whatnot, or however you want to play that, but they also have the option of putting their total budget. It's not mandatory, so if it's not specified, they didn't fill it out, maybe they don't feel comfortable just giving out the budget that they have, which is totally understandable. But sometimes that is a good thing for contractors, at least, to know what their budget is that they're playing with, to see if it's even worth your time. Maybe it's like, because all this is the details, their name and their full address. It only shows the county at first until you actually purchase lead, then it'll show you the full address. Maybe it's a job that's far away and they only have like $100 budget to paint, a closet or something. It might not be worth your time. But let's go back to the lead section, and if you have purchased any of those leads from the marketplace, then it'll show up in the My Purchase Leads. This button will not be here unless you've purchased ones in the marketplace. So let's go here. These are just some fake ones that I made. You can start and view the conversation. I don't know what that conversation looks like there. Yeah, okay. But the homeowner will get a notification, just like you would get a notification up here, that you have a new message if either of you have messaged each other. And then just in case they don't want you to, text them or whatever on their personal phone, or email them or on their personal phone, or maybe they put a fake phone number on there and a fake email on there, then you still have the chance to be able to start the conversation here. If you suspect that maybe a homeowner made a job, and this is pretty important, if you suspect that they made a job on the marketplace and several contractors are trying to contact them, maybe like 20 contractors have contacted them, they're not getting a hold of them, maybe that homeowner made a job and then they just ghosted the website, or they just ghosted all the contractors and people are still paying for it, just let us know in the live chat, or email us at support at bidnest.pro, and we can actually take that job down ourselves. That way people aren't wasting money on jobs that aren't available. We will have to go through a little bit of a trial with that. We'll have to contact the homeowner, or try to contact the homeowner at least a few times to see if they're still wanting it up there. But after a few times and we haven't been able to get a hold of them, we will take that down for the contractor so they're not wasting their money. But now let's get into what BidNest was actually originally made for. bidnest.pro was originally created for this platform right here. So you can create new projects, you can send bids to your clients, you can send invoices to your clients. This is what the heart of this platform is. So let's do this. Let's make a fake client with a fake phone number. You don't have to fill any of this out, by the way, but it's best. It's good practice to keep all of your clients' information, obviously, but it is optional in the system if you want to do just a quick quote. So, and let's say that we're painting. Let's say we're doing painting and we're doing drywall. We're going to, let's say we need to hang a sheet of drywall, hang and finish, and then paint a room. Let's say it's another living room. All right. So the location, we'll just say 555. This isn't going to show probably anything in here because it's 555 Fake Street, but we'll try it. We'll say it's in Florence, Alabama. It's just going to show Florence, Alabama in general because that's highly doubt that's a real address. But the description, we're just going to put hanging drywall and painting room. Just some kind of note for ourselves. We can change this later on, by the way, in the CRM itself. So don't worry too much about the description. If you get something wrong, you need to add something in the future. So we'll start with painting. So the room, we said it was going to be a living room. And we've got the square footage and all that fun stuff. Let's say it's a 400 square foot room. And the color, and we're just going to say it's just white. They're boring. We're going to say no accent wall. And maybe we do have to paint the crown and the baseboard. Maybe they want to freshen that up. Let's say that the trim, a lot of times, so I used to do drywall, painting and trim. I used to do carpentry as well. I had a restoration company for years, and we did a lot of putbacks. And the one thing that I always did when I went and bid jobs, I would always do the painting as far as walls by square footage, and other people might do this differently, and just let me know. We do take suggestions. Just come to the live chat if you ever want to suggest something. We do take that into account. But when I would do trim, I would kind of eyeball it. I wouldn't even do it by linear foot. You can do it and then estimate it however you want to, and then just put it in here. But a lot of times I would just eyeball it. If I see a room and maybe it's I'm just doing crown, I would go, okay, I would do this for so and so, for $200, $100, whatever it is. This door, I'd $50. However you do that, whatever your prices are. So that's kind of how I built it out for myself originally back in the day. So I would just put like, hey, I'll do the crown for 50 and I'll do the base for 50. Let's see if, yeah, maybe a door. Maybe there's a door too that they won't freshen up, and I'll do that for 100. So we can put that. And then we're not going to add another room because we're just doing the living room for this because of the drywall damage. And the materials, we're going to say that for this one, the client's just providing everything. And this is optional as well. These two, the duration and the notes, they're optional, but it's just going to show up on their bid so they have it, and their invoice so that they have it. But we're just going to say it's we're just going to say 4 days. Just give them a little grace period there. And then I don't need any notes there. And then we're going to do the drywall for the same room. It's going to be in the living room. How many boards? We're just doing one board. And we are going to hang, and we are going to finish it. And we don't need any optional notes. And we're going to say the client's providing everything. Same thing, 4 days. Save draft. And then a lot of these are just fake, so ignore those. It's going to take you to your projects. It's the My Projects tab here. This is where we can start the bid. You can also upload any photos. Maybe you want to put some before photos in there, and then later you want to put some after photos so that you can save them for yourself or whatnot. So you can push the bid though to actually. And this is where we can do the bid, the My Projects with the bid. So you can see here that there's 400 square foot, and then we already showed you how you could get your estimated square footage cost. So I set mine at $2 per square foot for the walls, and then you have your. Sorry for the interruption here. I actually noticed when I was reviewing this video that I did not indeed show you where to do your square footage. So in the settings here, there's a section that says how much do you generally charge per square foot. Right now we just have it for painting preferences. That's because a lot of people just kind of eyeball, or they put in the amount during the actual bid rather than having a preference, just because with painting with square footage, it's a lot easier just to say, hey, this is what I charge per square foot, especially when explaining it to a homeowner, if you do it that way. Some people don't, but I always did like $2 a square foot when I used to paint. So I just put it there. I know that's probably a little dated for today's market, but it might not be. I'm not really sure as far as my area goes, but their area is obviously, if you're in like Los Angeles, it's probably a lot higher. But anyways, this is where you would save that. And if you don't have anything, then it's not going to give you an estimate, and you can just kind of figure that out however you usually would figure that out. All right, sorry, thanks. Your trim that you bid on earlier, so the crown, baseboard, and doors. And then you have an estimated total, and then your the fee, the 4% fee. So on BidNest, you can actually take payment if you choose to via credit card or debit card from your client, and then you get paid directly to your bank account by using that. We use Stripe, which does have a credit card fee. So we just added that in here and gives you like a little estimate of what it would be with that 4% fee if you chose to go by your square footage estimate. But if you go by another estimate, it's 4% fee for the card fee if you choose to do it that way. If you get paid, check or cash, or you have your own payment processing, then you would just do the estimated total, or calculate whatever you wanted to calculate it as. But let's say that we do use BidNest for our payment service, so we would just do $832, and also the material cost would be $0 for this. Client's paying for everything, and I'm just doing this by myself. I have no overhead. I don't have any employees helping me or anything like that with this one. There's basically no overhead at all for this. And then drywall details, we're just hanging one sheet, hang and finish. Let's just say that I charge, whatever it is, $50, or just random number. Let's say it's $100 to hang and finish this one sheet. We say the client's paying for everything, so we're just gonna do that. And then also, if we had done like trim, if we'd done any kind of carpentry, or if we'd done like flooring, then it would all be here as well that we can do. But we would submit all bids together. And then whenever we show or give the client, we can show the client right here the bid itself. And then it would just have all their information. We would have our information that we put in originally, and then it would have their information, and then it would have a breakdown of each thing. So maybe they want a breakdown, they want an itemization of your painting, your drywall, your flooring, your carpentry, whatever it is that you're doing. In this case, it's just painting and drywall. So we're showing them everything that we're doing with the painting. We're showing them the cost for that. And then we're also showing them the drywall breakdown, everything that we're doing for that, cost-wise, and what we're doing. And then it also gives you the grand total. So this is the subtotal for the drywall itself, and then this is the grand total for painting and drywall, so that they can kind of decide for themselves with that bid. But let's go back here, and then we will go into our dashboard, back to our dashboard where our CRM is, client CRM. And then this is our fake client. I told you that I would show you all this here once we've made one. Let's say that we are starting this job next Monday. By the way, you have to push update each time. I know it's a little annoying, but it makes more sense when you're on a mobile device, which I know a lot of people are either on their phone or their iPad when they're walking through. They're not, carrying around a laptop when they're walking through doing this, but a lot of times they are doing this section at home, so I know it's kind of redundant to have to keep pushing update and then going back, and then they started at the 12th, and let's say it's a week-long update. But that is to update your calendar, though, is why it's set like that. This is in real time updating the calendar that's on your website. The website, the one-page landing page that we sent, I was telling you about earlier that I'll show you how to build out. It's actually blocking your calendar off for these dates that you're going to be at fake client's house, so that they know that you're not going to start that anytime soon. Let's say that we have started this job, though. All right, so of course you can dispose of the lead here, but let's go to expand. If you push expand, this kind of gives you a rundown of everything. Job type, their preferred contact date is going to be whatever start date. This is here because like we were talking about earlier, whenever they go to your landing page, your one-page website there, and they fill out that contact form, they'll choose a preferred contact date, and this is when this is what's going to show there. Their address, phone number, email. You can push this if you want to call them directly from here. It makes it really easy. Same way with the email. You can push this if you want to email it from here. You can edit the notes here, and then just save notes there, and then it will show you your start date, your finish date, and your status, and then it will also show you your maps where the home is. Obviously, we put in some fake street, so it's not going to be a real address, but we can also push complete. Right here, the view PDFs, the same thing we just did. So if you're sending them the PDF of the bid itself, then that's what you would push. And then complete. Let's say we completed this job. If we go down to expand again, now you're going to see this download invoice PDF. A lot of companies and a lot of clients even, they want an invoice of what you've done before they pay, or maybe after the payment or whatnot, maybe as a receipt, so to speak. So you would just download invoice, and then it would download, I'll open it up here, but it would just download, and then you can send it to them, and then it gives you the breakdown, kind of like the bid, except it doesn't give you, it just gives you the grand total, because you've already done the work. If you didn't do the work, then you would have taken it off. But it gives you the grand total of everything and a breakdown of everything, and then everything that you did as well. Alright, so let's go back to BidNest. And then we've already shown you all that. So let's get into the more stuff here. because there's a plethora of things that we can do here. The first thing I want to show you is going to be your landing page. The landing page, when you first make an account, I would highly suggest just going ahead and making the landing page. That's like the first thing that I would do if it were me. So with the landing page, I already have a lot of stuff here, and little fake pictures or whatnot of a house that I did. It was a mess, but anyways, this was years ago. But before pictures, you can just choose your subdomain name. So I just put this. If you wanted it, say you had like Bob's Painting, then you put Bob's Painting. You would choose your logo. You would choose your gallery. Maybe you have like before and after pictures of jobs or whatnot. Then you can put that there. You can put whatever your about section about your business. Tell them a little bit about yourself, about your business. You can put your states, and then your the counties that you serve, and then services you offer. Let's say you're just painting, and I already have all this for myself as well. So save profile. And by the way, maybe you do like drywall as well. I have that there too for mine. But save profile, and then we are going to, and that, by the way, that was the first thing that I showed with the profiles earlier. I can show that again here in a second. Actually, I can show that right now, just so you can see what I'm talking about with that. Actually, we are in our local. So we're going to log out of this one, and then we are going to show you Bob's Painting. This is what I was talking about earlier, the contact form, and then all these grayed out deals there. Let's just go ahead and create one. Fake person. It'll ask if it's okay to text. So yes. If it's not okay to text, obviously don't text them. I showed you earlier how to start a conversation on here with them. If they don't like texting, you call them a couple times. They don't give you permission to text, and then just don't text them. You don't want those kind of issues probably. Alright, and then let's say you're not available these dates. Let's say here, preferred start date, send, and then it's going to give them this message, and then I'll redirect them back to your page where they can go back. Alright, so let's go back to here. Alright, we've showed you that. Let us now look at the my verification. This is going to say get verified. Oh, sorry, I logged out earlier. Oh, by the way, I just logged. So whenever I started a new one and I logged out in order to look at the profile there as a homeowner, it logged me out on this one because I'm on the same browser. That's what happened there. But when I log back in, you can see there's a notification. It says 1 on the notification bell. That's that lead that I was talking about earlier that you would get if someone filled that out. So you have 1 new lead, and then we'll go to leads, and then this is the lead. This is that fake person, blah blah blah. That we just filled out. We can push that to CRM if we want to, and then it will be in here. We're just going to dispose of that for now because it's obviously a fake person. And then it's back to that, leads, and then we can keep this in here if we want to, but I'm just going to keep it clean for now and just put dispose that way there's no notification up here. There's always going to be a notification up here as long as there's leads in here. So if you push it to CRM, then just dispose it from here if you want to keep it clean and not have a notification up here that you have a new client. That's what I would suggest doing if it were me. Next thing I would want to show you, my verification. It will say get verified here. With the get verified, if you noticed at whenever we were looking at the profiles, and it will explain this on the features or the solutions part of the landing page. If you click solutions, the verification is the little orange check mark. It's a white check mark within the orange circle there. What that is telling the homeowner is that you have proven that you have a license and you have proof of insurance and you've paid a background fee. So it's a $75 background fee. The only thing that we check actually is that you legitimately have a license and that you've legitimately proven that you have proof of insurance. So as long as you've uploaded those two things, paid the fee, it's $75 a one-time fee. It's not yearly, it's not monthly, it's not anything like that. It's a one-time fee. Then you will have the check mark showing that showing the client that you have been verified, and then you also show up towards the top of the list of homeowners. Of contractors rather. The verified contractors always show up first before the non-verified, the unverified rather. But you would just I've already done the verification here, so I can always upload my new license or upload insurance. If you don't have an image of your insurance, then you can just put your insurance information and policy information. You do have to upload an actual picture of your business license right there. But yeah, that's what that does. So reviews is where you can check out your reviews. That's just a fake review. Like I said, this is in testing. That's why I had to go through all that. I didn't actually go to bidnest.pro. This is on my local computer so that I can have all this fake information in here without cluttering up our real website. My bids is just going to show you your actual active bids. I'll get into the employees and trackers here in a second. I've already showed you the settings. Settings is where you can change your company name, username, password, phone number, business address. These are optional, and then you can put your square footage for painting. That's also optional. And then subscription. So with your subscription tab, the subscription settings, this is just where you can pretty much edit any kind of thing like your card information. You can go to where it says go to Stripe dashboard. This will initially say like set up Stripe or connect with Stripe account. This is where you can actually connect with our Stripe account where you can receive payments through Bidnest itself. You would just have to put in your tax information basically in there. We can walk. I can't really walk through that on the demo itself because I would have to put in my personal banking information for the whole world to see. But if you would like to set up a live demo on how to do that, if you're having problems with it, because there is a few steps that you have to take with that, and it's a little tricky because it is what it is. It's the way that Stripe works. So if you ever need help setting that up, then we can definitely set up a time to do a live demo just for that, or a walkthrough rather, just for that Stripe setup there. But as far as the subscription itself goes, you can always update your card information here if you ever need to. You can view your invoices for amounts paid, and then you can cancel at any time here. If you cancel even within your free trial, you'll still be able to do your 14-day free trial as well, and then you can always go back here. So if we canceled, then we can always go back and resubscribe. We would resume subscription right there. All right. Okay. The next thing, sorry about the pause and the going back and forth. I actually had to go into my personal account because the fake account that I'm using for the demo or testing, I can't go into subscription because there is no subscription because it's local, and I don't have to have a subscription for this one because it's not an actual real account. So I had to exit off of that and pause the video. But next is going to be our employee section. This is useful only if you have employees. Maybe you have or subcontractors. Maybe you're a contractor and you're hiring subcontractors. However you want to use that. And here I've got some just some fake. Let me delete. That's weird. Some fake ones, and we'll delete that one. No, actually, we'll just delete them all. Let's start as if we were starting from scratch. And we're going to add a new employee, and their name is going to be Test, and their number is going to be 5, and their email is going to be fake person at fake.com, and then their job title is going to be worker B, and then they are going to be a W-2 employee. Their salary type is going to be, we'll say hourly. And let's say we pay them $15 an hour. And then we're going to say we pay them bi-weekly. So we're going to add that employee. And that's all their information. We can edit that anytime. Maybe we bump them up to like $15.50 or something like that. Then we can always update that. And then let's say we have a subcontractor. Subcontractor guy is his name, and his number is also the 5555, and sub@sub.com. And then we're going to say he's a painter. We're hiring a subcontractor, and then that would be contract, because he's a subcontractor, and then he's bid the job, he's taken the job, all that, so he's bid it for $1,000, whatever it is. Add employee. Still going to mark him as employee here, of course, but it's going to show that he's contract. It's not, I guess you would call it a salary, but it's just contract. But from here, since we added the employees, we can actually go to our tracker, and this is going to show any job that's active, so only active jobs, which is pretty much all of them that are in here, which I know it's kind of cluttered because I have a lot of fake ones in here, but you get the gist of it. I know this isn't really realistic as far as that because of all the fake ones that we have, but let's just assume that these are legitimate. So I was actually looking for the one that we did earlier, but I'm not seeing it in here, and I just realized why. Is because we're not currently doing it. I set it as complete. So let's go back. Let's pretend like it's not complete now. That was my fault. Let's go to tracker, because it's only going to show ones that are current. So fake client. Yeah, this is the one that we just did. Let's say that we are, we're just going to hire this guy, subcontractor guy, subbing out job. So we've added our notes. We're just subbing this contractor out because maybe our test employee is over here at this job. And whatnot. By the way, if you can also add yourself in the employee section if you also are on jobs. So let's just say self. Sorry, I just put random keys there. Owner, and we'll just do all that. We'll say salary, and we'll just say we're giving ourselves a lot of money, and we're just going to give it to ourselves weekly. Alright. Now we can go here, and then if you want to say, let's go back to, let's say that we're on this job with test, so it's just us two on that. That's why we're having to hire this subcontractor. So that's kind of how the tracker works. So you can just keep all of your people, and it shouldn't, unless you have a very large company, it's not going to be this large. We can remove all these basically from the tracker because this is a fake account. Is why it's so cluttered, and all these fake account ones that I've made for other demos, for live demos for people, I just haven't went through and disposed of them yet, and that's why it's showing like that. If you keep your tracker clean, then or your dashboard clean, then it's only going to show your active ones, which is the way that it should be. So if I pushed complete on here, then it's not going to show this job because I've completed it, or if we dispose it, or if you dispose it from the tracker itself. So don't get tunnel vision with this. The reason that it's so cluttered is because this is a fake account that I just use for demos, and it just is what it is. I haven't went through there yet and deleted all those. But yeah, other than that, I think we've pretty much covered everything that there is to cover. Oh, other than the payments. All right, so to get paid by your clients, this will be the last section, I promise. To get paid by your clients, you would just go here. You put all their information, full name, email, amount, their card info. This is all live, so I'm not going to put an actual card info, or I would end up charging myself and paying myself, which would be silly. So, you would just pay now, and then their information and payment history would be in payment history. Obviously, there's no payment history for this one. It's a test account, but it would be there if you had any. And then you can also print right here. You would actually be able to print off a receipt for that person as well. So that's just something to note. But other than that, if you do have any questions, any comments, concerns, suggestions, we do take suggestions, then just hit us up at the live chat. Just put your name, email, start chat. If someone isn't at the chat, we'll always get the chat. If no one is there, then we'll just respond to you via email that you put in there. If it's after hours and just doesn't say we're here or for whatever reason, then just go ahead and fill it out. Like I said, we'll always respond to you later with your email that you put in, or at the home page there is a contact us form. You can do it that way as well. We do really love suggestions. If you want to comment on anything, maybe you have a suggestion for the bids, maybe you're a contractor looking for us to add in your type of contracting, then we would love to hear from you. But other than that, just let us know. Thanks.